Okay, we are back. We were discussing with WindBlue Power the reasons for using, say, a modified alternator over buying a DC permanent magnet motor. And I want you guys to understand that it sounds like, this is like a pump WindBlue, and I guess in a sense it probably is. And the reason why I'll say that it probably is on my side is because out of all the modified alternators that I have seen out there, WindBlue makes them the strongest and the best, and what looks to me is going to give the longest lifetime that you could possibly get in a modified alternator design. And so I've kind of, I don't want to sound like, TLG's is all-powerful wing, but I kind of took them under my wing and worked with them, on blades and stuff. And Doug, in your experience with blades on modified alternators, I assume you're still with me.
Yes, right here.
I know that because I remember that in the beginning you guys had like a whole arsenal of blades and stuff that you guys had tried before you contacted TLG to see if we could do anything for you. And originally we set you up with the Ghostbuster, and that gave you two configurations of 4.5 or 5 foot in design. But then later you came to me with a challenge of, hey, we want something that will be easier to ship, but we don't want to sacrifice power by anything at all. And, between all the blades and stuff that you tested, and between the new Cyclone rotor that you now use, which is a 2-blade, which that's another one of those things I said I'd never do, what are your feelings on the performance of those type of rotors versus the other things that you've tried on your alternators for people that just want to assemble something themselves buying parts and pieces from you?
Yeah, it is an amazing jump that we've had. We really went through the gambit on blades. Like you said, we tested and still do. If something comes out, we always like to see what's going on. We'll test all different types. We've tested fiberglass and the carbon fiber plastic blades and PVC blades and all sorts of manner of blades. But what we found with the Cyclones was they actually gave us the low-end performance of the Ghostbuster, but with the higher RPM performance of a 2-bladed design. And it's really hard to describe because it seems to defy the logic that we have. We leave the engineering of the wind blades up to you. That's your specialty. But we've really found we've maintained our power output with the 2-blade versus the 3-blade, which you'd think would go down, but it hasn't. And we've gained RPM, which our generators like that extra RPM. Again, you have to remember a modified car alternator likes that speed, likes that RPM, and can handle that RPM with no problem. So the faster it can go, the better, but we've got to have that torque. And that's what your blades do for us, is they give us the torque we need and the speed. And the Cyclone's really been a nice match.
Okay, well, in reference to, you've tried the black blades, because I think a lot of people, when they think of a modified alternator wind generator setup, they think of the black carbon fiber blades, which, in my opinion, look like lawn darts. And by the way, these are the same blades that I discussed earlier in the show, that they talk about the blade tip spray and its normal wear, and just cut them off, and you can continue to use them. I mean, I assume you tried those also?
Oh, yes, yeah. In fact, we had a YouTube video up of the Ghostbuster versus those black blades in true winds with an unloaded alternator, and you could really see a difference. I mean, the black blades didn't spin until wind was around 12 miles an hour. The Ghostbuster was sitting there spinning in a 6 mile an hour wind. So really a tremendous difference in low wind performance. The other thing we really didn't like about them was noise. They're a very noisy blade, and I get a lot of calls saying, well, how noisy is this? And I really have to tell them it makes no more noise than the wind blowing through the trees. The tree noise is going to be louder than this thing spinning on the pole with our Cyclone or even the Ghostbusters when we had those. They're a silent blade for the most part, and those black blades, we do get a lot of calls. People, well, it's kind of noisy. My neighbor knows it's windy because he tells me my wind generator's turning, and that's not very good neighbors. So, the fences make good neighbors, but I think quiet wind generators could make good neighbors too. So that's the biggest problem we had with those was the bad low wind performance, and the noise was unacceptable for us.
Yeah, and I tend to agree. I mean, the Cup design rotors that we make at TLG are definitely quieter than anything else out there. I am now going to stick you on the spot here, Doug. I want to know, in reference to the amount of alternators that you have sold, how many have you had fail?
Oh, man. I don't think we've had any fail from something we've done. We had one unit that came, this has been a couple of years ago. A person took our low-wind alternator, and he put it on a gear-up system. It was in an enclosed housing, about a 50-to-1 gear-up on like a 12-foot prop. And he got it going real fast in there, and the heat built up, and he knew it was going to cause problems. He didn't have any ventilation on the case. And he sent it back to us, and, he agreed. He said, it's my fault, no big deal, I'll buy another one. And we really said, we're going to send you another one. We sent him another one, replacement free of charge, because we really wanted to see what somebody could do to it. It was kind of a external stress testing, you'd say. But as far as failures, we just don't have them. It's a very tried-and-true design, and if you follow the instructions or you use them in the recommended fashion, you're just not going to have any problems with them.
Now, based on that comment there, I always tell the people, because, I want people to understand what's going on out there in the world, and I don't want it to be, well, just take Terry's word on it, because, just taking my word on it, what happens if I'm wrong? I mean, I can't be right about everything. So I always tell people to go out on the Internet and search. Go to Google, go to Yahoo, go to your favorite search engine, type the name of the brand and the word junk. And in reference to the, Hornet, I've said their name a while ago, you type in the word Hornet and junk, and you're going to get overwhelmed with responses for that. And I know that you've done that as well, Doug.
Right.
But what I'm inviting the public to do is not to sit here and go, oh, well, TLG and WindBlue are working together to try to say, oh, look, we're the best. I want people to go and look, because I've done the researching for WindBlue and junk, and there's no association. The same thing happens with TLG and junk. But, it don't have to be just junk. Anything that you might think in reference to. I think that on the show here we've had the ability to show that the modified alternator is, in fact, a better choice than going with a DC permanent magnet motor. But if they got a DC permanent magnet motor, by all means use it, because both WindBlue and TLG both support the do-it-yourselfers. I mean, am I correct there, Doug?
That's right, yeah. And we want to encourage everybody to try their own designs. If they've got something laying out there in the yard already, by all means, go for it. But if you're ready to move up into a little bit more finished design, buy one of our generators. You don't have to buy the whole kit if you don't want. Buy the generator. Build your own blade and see what you come up with. That's part of the fun of our niche in this business, is getting people's ideas to come together into something they can be proud of. So whether they buy our complete kit, don't want to mess with it, or if they just want to buy a generator or even parts of the generator and build their own truly from scratch, that's kind of what we're all about. And one thing I wanted to mention before we get short on time is that if you're, just for your listeners, we have a special offer of 5% discount off their entire order from now until the end of August 2009. We can't do this forever, but we'll do it till then. All they have to do is use the coupon code RADIO, R-A-D-I-O, when they check out on our website. And it's just one of our thanks to you for bringing the wind generator public a little more information on it and help our customers in these tough times.
All right, Doug. Well, it sounds good, and I definitely appreciate you joining me on the TLG Windpower Hour, and I think we shared some information, and we'll be talking at you later.